What's up? It's your boy. Let him know Zoe, back with another video. And y'all, I got a good one for you today. This video is gonna be a story time. And let me tell you, it's quite a story. Let me tell you all the story of how I, let him know Zoe, tried to turn a hoe into a housewife. Let's get into it. So look, I have a pretty good experience with the women. I got a long, quote unquote, history with dating experience. You know, like seeing women. You know, like intimate relationships, emotional connections, just vibing out with like different women over different topics, things like that. But this one in particular, this girl that I tried to get something going with, it didn't exactly pan out. But look, so it starts like this. This is a girl who I've known for a very, very long time. And for the sake of her privacy, we are gonna call this girl, let's call her Tanya, right? So, me and Tanya, we go way back. Your boy, let him know Zoe, has, like I said, I've had many experiences with women, but in terms of relationships, I've only had one. And this one relationship that I had was with this girl, Tanya. Now, I've known Tanya for a very long time. Tanya and I, our families have known each other for a very long time, since we were both little. And so me and Tanya, we met through our families, right? And so when I was actually in high school, that was 11th grade specifically, that was when me and Tanya started becoming closer. And so, you know, throughout high school, junior year, you know, we getting closer, we talking, we becoming friends and everything, getting friendly and all that. And then, you know, basically the same deal in 12th grade. Tanya was actually a year younger than me. So we was cool. When it was Tanya's junior prom, she actually asked me to be her date, and so I did that, and you know, I had a great time. And then that was the year when she was a junior, I was a senior, so I graduated, and then the next year after that, she was a senior in high school and I was in college. And for her senior prom too, she asked me to also take her to prom, and of course I did it, because me and Tanya, we was vibing on a very deep level. And so I was like, why not? Like, I fuck with you, you fuck with me. Why not? It's gonna be a vibe, so let's do it. All right, yeah, so we did it. And so Tanya graduates high school, and we begin getting a little bit more serious, a little bit more than just friends, right? And so we begin dating. We're going here, we're going there, we've seen this movie, we've seen that movie, and you know, we were just really enjoying each other's company. And so many things have happened since then. But what ended up happening back then was, you know, after all these experiences, Tanya and I decided that I like you, you like me, And Tanya, I actually remember very vividly Tanya telling me for the first time that she loved me. And I was like, wow. I wasn't ready for that. Because, I was like, when she told me this, I was like 19. And so, I mean, age is, it's just a number. Everybody is different sometimes everybody is different at different ages, Some 19-year-olds may be looking for love, and some 19-year-olds maybe just want to play the field. Me personally, when I was 19, I was the type where I just wanted to play the field. And so when Tanya told me she loved me, I was like, I didn't really know how to take it. I didn't say it back. Even though you might think that would be the right thing to do, I didn't say it back because honestly, I just wasn't ready. And I could see, like, from that day forward, she was very, like, hurt, like, offended almost, even just because, like, I didn't say it back and I wasn't ready. But, even though that happened, we talked, we continued to see each other, and, our bond began to, it continued to get deeper and deeper. And we actually wound up committing to each other. And we got together, and I was her boyfriend, and she was my girlfriend. Now, Tanya and I, we dated for a very long time. If I remember correctly, we were in a committed relationship with each other for about a year and a half. And it was cool. It was nice. It was fun. We had many great times together. But one thing led to another, and I mean, this is kind of a long time ago. We somehow we just had an emotional falling out. Like it just seemed like our connection, our chemistry was beginning to like fizzle almost, and like I don't know if it was her, if it was me, or like, I mean, maybe it was me. I don't know. I wasn't feeling the sparks no more, because I remember very vividly. This is one time we went out to eat together back when we were still together, and I remember just like sitting in the car, just like staring out the window while she's driving. I'm just like, for some reason, like my heart just wasn't in it no more. I don't know why. I can't really remember why, because like I said, this is like many years ago. But we sitting in the restaurant, face to face, having our meal, whatever. And I said that either I said or like she said. I think it's sort of like a mutual decision almost. But honestly, I think in hindsight, I think it was kind of more on me. I just kind of like told her like, I don't think this is working. Like I don't feel the same as I used to. And that really threw her for a loop. I don't think she was ready for that. And cause like clearly she was hurt, and I was like, yeah, like I understand that, but like staying in a relationship that you're not happy in is not gonna help nobody. It could only serve to the exact opposite. And so we end up cutting ties, and we end the relationship, and then we don't speak for a very long time. So the relationship was about a year and a half, like I said, and yeah, then we broke up. And probably, I want to say about a year and a half goes by, and she was just doing her thing, I was doing my thing, and was no contact between us, because after you break up with somebody, you're not gonna constantly keep in touch with your ex every single day. I mean, not unless you really still want them. But me and Tanya, we wasn't talking, because like we both just needed space from the situation. And it was a lot. So we both just needed to take a breather, and that's what we did. Now, if y'all remember what I said from earlier in the video, I said that Tanya's family and mine were very close, like from like the early on in my and Tanya's lives. And so we met through family. And the funniest thing is, the same exact family that we met through, it was my relative and her relative. I'm not gonna say no more details than that. I don't wanna make it too personal. But long story short, one of my relatives ends up passing away. And this is in the year 2020. So this is right when COVID is starting to go crazy, like everywhere. Like they talking about, oh, you gotta wear your mask, you gotta be mindful who you go out in public and be around, and like you gotta like keep your distance, 6 feet, all that. If y'all remember all that shit, the fucking 6 feet distance, social distancing, and all that mess. And so like I said, my relative, she used to work in a hospital, and if a hospital has one thing, it is sick people. And so naturally, since my relative was working in the hospital, surrounded by sick people all day long, basically, she winds up contracting coronavirus. And my relative, who was very near and dear to my heart, coronavirus wound up taking her life. And that just crushed me. It crushed my whole family, because she's my relative. She was a very vital person in my life, not just to me, but to my very close immediate family. So when this very precious relative of mine passed away, in 2020, my ex, Tanya, actually ends up reaching out to me. She gives me a call on the phone, and she's like, yo, well, she didn't say that's not how she talked, but she said, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry, like, I heard the news, like, how you doing? Like, is there anything I could do? Like, please give my condolences to your family. Like, I'm so sorry, like, how do you feel? And like, and we're going back and forth, whatever. And the funniest thing is, it's like this sad thing that happened, which was basically kind of sad for both of us. I would say sadder for me, because it was my relative that passed away. But it was this sad event that triggers the return of Tanya back into my life, right? And this is 2020 that she comes back into my life, calling me about my relative who just passed away. And by this point in time, it had been like, I want to say a good year and a half, maybe even 2 years since the last time we spoke. And so, my relative's funeral happened, everybody's there, everybody's in tears, everybody's getting these things off their chest that everybody's like struggling emotionally. So of course, like it's tears, it's screaming, it's crying, like we all just gotta help each other, like pull ourselves together. But I just said all that to say that the passing of my relative is what ends up bringing Tanya back into my life. And so we're just like, we're talking, we're texting, we're on the phone, like talking like every other night or so. And out of this, we actually wind up getting a little bit closer to each other. And so a few things have changed in the time that we haven't been talking. I got a car and everything. I was feeling on top of the world because like before back when we was together, I ain't had no car. But then when she met me again later, 2 years later, I had a car, so I was feeling good about myself. I was feeling so much better, even though of course my relative just passed away. But when you get your first car, like who's not overjoyed about having their first car? And so me and her, we wound up, seeing each other more and more often, just like talking and texting, whatever. And, we kind of start to begin to foster our relationship again. Like, not like officially, but like, just emotionally we get closer and closer and closer. Until, one day I meet her out. And, it's just the two of us, we just vibing. And, one thing led to another. And me and Tanya, we wind up getting physical. We kind of begin to, I guess you could say, re-foster our intimate relationship. That's what I'll say. And after this first day that we start getting closer physically, after that, like it was a done deal. You're here for me, I'm here for you. We're like this, and so now we're seeing each other more consistently and just like talking about whatever. And like now, we're officially like friends again, and like all the relationship trauma and all the trouble, the pain, whatever. At this point in time, it's literally like water under the bridge, because all this relationship stuff is like 2-3 years ago, and so we don't really care no more. We just cool now. And so me and Tanya, we're just we vibing out. We see each other every now and then. And so, typically what happens is, the more you see somebody, the more often you see somebody, and the more time you spend with them, of course, like, naturally, you're gonna grow to feel closer to them. And, you would hope that they would feel the same way about you. And, the more time y'all spend together, and especially if y'all have a physically intimate relationship, like, it's only a matter of time before feelings get involved. And so, we're just spending more and more time together. And, we just cool. We're just friends, I'm not her boyfriend. She not my girl. We not nothing official. But, we was fooling around a little bit. A little bit. We was fooling around a lot. And, it's because of this that I'm kind of starting to feel a little something for her, a little more than just friends. And so, we just playing it cool, just like, chilling, seeing each other every now and then, like kind of sporadically, whatever. I'm going over her house every now and then. She going to my house. We just like chilling, whatever. And like I said, we was physical. So I'm beginning to feel deeper feelings than just like, my homeboy. Like I don't feel the same way about Tanya than I would about, my boys. Cause, I just can't, I can't say it enough times. Like we're getting physical. And so naturally, I'm starting to feel some things toward her, like kind of like on a deeper level almost. And so we one time we get to talking, right? And this is somewhat recently, because me and Tanya, we had been seeing each other for like some years. We reconnected in 2020, and then it was basically like she was there, like, and I was there. We were there for each other, just literally, just like for years, just like seeing each other, and the connection is kind of growing, at least in my opinion. And honestly, it kind of gets to a point a few years down the line. Like I said, we reconnected in 2020, so I want to say maybe like 2023, 2024, I'm starting to feel a little more like some deep feelings for her. And so, I call her up and we have a conversation, right? And I'm like, yo, so like, we've been seeing each other for a long time and everything, and I'm like, so, I mean, is this where you want to keep it? Like, is this what you want to do, And I'm like, you don't, like, I think, like, I think I'm ready to, like, try this thing again. I'm ready to try again to be your man, as long as you want to be my girl, like, because we have this, at this point, bro, like, we're years in, bro. We've been doing some things for some years now. And so at this point, bro, I can't look at her as just a friend, because I seen some things, some parts of her that your friends don't see, and we did some things that you don't do with your friends. So like I said, this is, it's starting to make me feel something more towards her. But oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention. There was this one occurrence where there was a party we was both at, right? And there was this girl who was at the party. She had somewhat of a connection to Tanya. And me and Tanya, we wasn't, like I said, we wasn't exclusive or nothing. So I see this other girl, let's call her Kelly, right? So we both in the party, right? I see Kelly, I'm like, yo, who is that? God damn, I need to holler at her real quick. And so, but like me and Tanya, we cool. So like, I'm not trying to screw nothing up, like we got something good going. Like I like it just how it's set up, and I don't want to screw it up. I like it how it is. And so, me and my little my little conniving ways, at least back then, I guess that's how I used to be, whatever. I'm playing it cool, I'm not making no big scenes about nothing. But after the party, I wind up going on Instagram and I find Kelly on Instagram, right? And so, what did I do? I slid in Kelly's DMs. I'm like, yo, she's bad as hell. I'm trying to see what's up with that. And like I said, me and Tanya got something good going, so I'm not trying to screw that up. I'm not trying to, throw no dirt on that. But at the same time, since we not like this, like it's like we locked in, but we not locked in. It was weird. It was a very weird situation in hindsight. But yeah, man. I slid in Kelly's DMs, and somehow, some way, oh wait, yeah. Kelly, like the word gets back to Tanya that I slid in Kelly's DMs, and slowly but surely, I sense the energy shift, right? And I'm like, so like, at first I didn't even know like what was going on, and like that thing happened with Kelly, and eventually like Tanya she eventually spoke to me about it. I'm like, yeah, that, yeah. I seen Kelly at the party, and I was impressed. I like what I saw, and so naturally, like a man would do, I expressed interest, and I was like, "What's up?" Like I was trying to talk to her, but come to find out, Kelly and Tanya, they're actually cousins, and so that comes out. I'm like, that was a bad move for me. It was a bad move on my part, honestly. And so Tanya was a little hurt, whatever, and so I was like, all right, I guess she needs some space, whatever. So I gave some space. But then after that, we wound up reconnecting again, and we're talking and expressing feelings and all this. She's telling me how she feels, I'm telling her how I feel. And, we wind up reconnecting and we start getting physical again. And so even though all these things happen, like even though I try to holler at Kelly, who is actually somewhat close to Tanya, Tanya and I, we start getting intimate again. And yo, Tanya, she knew what she was doing. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. Tanya knew how to make a man feel good. That's what I'll say. I'm gonna leave it right there. Tanya knew how to make me feel good, and so even though all these things happened in the past, me and Tanya, since we're getting intimate again, I'm beginning to think that like, okay, maybe she's cool. Like maybe she still wants to like try things out with me, and I'm having these feelings still because like we're talking like all the time. We're texting, FaceTiming, linking up, chilling, and like I said many times, we doing the do. And so with all this happening, I'm like, yo, like, I'm talking to some of the girls right now, but it's like they don't really hold a candle to you. So I'm like, I could cut them all off right now. We could be done with that, and I'm just, if you want this, I'm ready to just focus on you. Like it can literally be just me and you. But it's like, even with everything that happened, I'm like, she said she still wasn't ready. I'm like, what do you mean? Like we've been doing all these things, and like, I don't know what you've been doing in the meantime. Like we've been talking, whatever, and we was never exclusive. Like we wasn't exclusive for like 4 years, 4 or 5 years that we was dealing with each other. 4 years, 4, 3.5, 4, yeah. And we was never exclusive. So, even though we was seeing each other, I was never aware of what she was doing when I wasn't there. I was never aware of who she might be dealing with and whatever. Like, so like, only Lord knows, like, how many people she had been with in that time that she wasn't really talking to me, whatever. And so I'm like, how can we do all these things? How can we do all these things with me and like not feel anything? I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like we've been intimate for years, like doing all these things for years, and you don't feel anything. Like you don't. You don't feel no type of like love or like deeper connection, cause like that was one thing. Like Tanya was always real like touchy about like love and like commitment and like deeper connections and things like that. And so that started to feel kind of weird to me, cause I'm like, me personally, I'm like, if I'm dealing with a girl for like so many years and like we doing all these things, like, and like even if I'm seeing other people, it's like, yo, like me and you, like we got some serious ass chemistry. Like this is like I'm starting to feel something real. But you don't? I'm like, how can that be? Like, are you broken? Like, were you running these streets like so thoroughly that like you can't pair bond no more? Cause like that's a big thing that like happens kind of often these days. Like it's a very popular saying that she belongs to the streets, and since she wasn't together, only Lord knows what she was doing behind my back when I wasn't there, and what she wouldn't tell me, because she wanted to preserve her image. Because that's what girls like to do. They like to preserve their image, and at the same time, they be doing their dirt in the background. So like they could say anything, and like I said, only Lord knows what she's really been doing. So like, I'm like, yo, like at this point, if you're not trying to like take this further, then like I'm honestly like done. And so she started like freaking out, whatever. She's like, oh, like what do you mean, like we can't still see each other, like we can't still do all these things. I'm like, yo, like it's been years, like we've been fucking around for years. Like you still not trying to move forward, you still not trying to take this to the next step. Like what's up with that? Like it's feeling weird to me. And so like my energy just kind of shifts toward her. Like I used to be like super warm, super charismatic, super talkative with her. Like literally, like the vibe between me and her was literally unmatched. And then like after she tells me all these things, like, oh, like I'm not ready for a relationship, and oh, you really hurt me, da, da. Oh, I don't know if I could trust you, da, da, da. I'm like, bro, like you can't trust me, but you could bust it open for me. I'm like, what? I'm like, to me, like this shit don't make no sense. I'm like, what? How can that be? Like, and so at this point, I'm like, look, if you're not trying to be my girl, then like I'm done. Like I don't really give a fuck no more. Like you can feel how you feel, and that's cool, but like I'm done just like giving it up, bro. Like I'm giving energy, bro. I'm giving vibes. I'm giving attention. Like you could honestly kind of say I'm giving her love, and it's like once I realized that I'm basically giving her love, but she won't give me what I want. Like I'm giving her love, but she won't give me commitment. I'm like, wait, like something is wrong here. And so, like I said, my energy just completely shifted. And women are very emotional creatures. So when your energy shifts, they sense that shit immediately. And so she's like, why are you acting weird? Why are you acting distant? And I'm like, my heart's not here no more. Like I kind of thought that like I was feeling a deeper connection with you, but once you made it apparent to me that you don't feel no deeper connection to me, I'm like, what's the point? Because I'm starting to, at this point, I'm starting to get past my phase of like, oh, like I'm just trying to run these streets. I'm just trying to like see this girl and date that girl, and like fuck basically anything breathing. Like I guess you could say I had me a little whole phase, whatever. But like I'm starting to feel like I'm ready to like mature and like literally fucking grow up and just have my one girl, and it just be the two of us, and we just move forward together. But she's like, oh, I'm not ready. Oh, that was on your timing, not my timing. You asked me to be your girl, and that's what you wanted. That's not what I wanted. I just wanted to explore my options and have fun. And you know what it means when a girl says she want to explore her options. Nigga, she be in the fucking streets. So I'm like, all right, at this point, bro, why am I still here? Like, why are we still talking? Like, I can literally feel our relationship crumbling, like, just for days and like weeks, months, whatever. And so eventually she comes to me, she's like, oh, I don't feel anything. And I'm like, of course you don't feel anything from me, because I basically shut off my energy towards you because I know that you don't really fuck with me like that. So I'm like, okay, your little feelings are hurt, whatever, that's cool, but like, to be real with you, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm hurt too. At this point, we both hurt. So I'm like, if that's how it's gonna be, like, if all you wanna do is just play around and whatever, like, literally, like, I remember very clearly, she was like, oh, like, I don't wanna be with you, but can we still be friends? I'm like, bitch, are you fucking kidding me? Like, is that a joke? Like, are you dumb? Like, no, we can't be friends. I don't want to give you no more energy. I don't want to give you no more attention. I don't want to give you no more of that good, because you know, I was like, I was laying it down, bro. But look, I was like, yo, if you're not trying to take it to the next step, I'm like, honestly, bro, it's deuces for me, because like, I'm ready to grow up, and apparently you're not. So if that's the case, see ya. So basically, bro, this is what happens when you try to turn a hoe into a housewife, bro. You think that there's a connection between y'all, but you never really know, because, you know, it's always a bunch of fucking games. There's always a bunch of romantic games and emotional games that like girls like to play with dudes. And, you know, to a degree, you know, guys play games with girls too. But I had just reached a point where I'm like, yo, like, these games are getting old. Like, what the fuck are we still doing? Like, we're literally like we're in our early 20s, our mid 20s, like throughout all the time we've been fucking with each other. So I'm like, bro, like, I'm ready to be done with the game. Like, let's just finally lock it down and just grow the fuck up and just be together and just move forward. And she was like, oh, I don't feel it. Oh, I'm not ready. Oh, I gotta take my time. Oh, I gotta see this out. Oh, I gotta go walk my fish. I'm like, bro, they be saying all the dumbest shit for like any reason. Like they be looking for any reason not to give you what you want. I'm like, bro, like, all right. At this point, deuces. I'm done with you. And so, at this point in time, it's May now. Now, like today, right now, I'm saying in this moment, it's May 2025 now. And I haven't spoken to Tanya probably in like 2 months now. And honestly, I think it's for the best, because if it was really meant to be, then, you know, I think we would be together right now. But we not. So I guess that was just God's way of telling me she ain't the one, G. Just move forward. And so what did I do? Exactly that. So look, yo, if you're gonna try to be with a girl, you gotta make sure y'all on the same page. And honestly, another thing I learned like throughout all of this is that as a man, if you want a serious, committed relationship with a girl, like a lot of the times, like if you want the dynamics to be ideal, as the man, you can't be the one asking for a relationship. It has to be the woman who is trying to be with you in order for the relationship to really work out in the best possible way. Because if she feels like her SMV, her sexual market value is above yours, and she feels like she has more options than you and she has better options than you, and yet you're sitting here trying to lock her down. She's gonna be like, oh, he must not have no options. Oh, I must be the best thing in his life. Oh, he must not be doing too much if I'm the number one focus in his life. Because like, bro, girls are so funny. But like, they have like this intuition. It's like, if a guy is trying too hard or whatever, or if it seems like he is, then it's like she's even more destined to run away from you. And so, long story short, don't try to be with a girl who's not trying to be with you. It only makes you look weak and pathetic, and it projects the scarcity mindset that you probably have since you're super focused on this one girl, instead of like several girls, or even better, instead of like several goals in your life that you should really be attacking. Because a man on a mission is really the most attractive type of man. Like a man who is chasing his purpose, that is the man that women will chase. So honestly, bro, romantically speaking, your best bet is to focus on your mission, focus on your purpose, and the women will come running after that, bro. But you can never make her the center of your life, because as soon as you do, she's done with you. This has been my story of how I tried to turn a hoe into a housewife. It's your boy, Let Him Know Zo. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And if any of y'all have any similar experiences, I would love to know. Please drop down in the comments, share your experiences with me of like girls you've been with, girls you tried to be with, like girls who were just breadcrumbing you, dragging you along, keeping you in situationships that just hurt you more and more and more as the days go on. I would love for y'all to reach out to me, and because I know for a fact I'm not the only one who's experienced something like this with a girl. So like I said, it's your boy, Let Him Know Zo. I'm out.